of +5 population. So basically with other saves, you start with a maximum of 15 population, but with ISIS we start with a maximum of 20 population, which means we can easily just skip the first house. You can do your build order and still you will never get housed in the Archaic Age as ISIS, but still you gotta start adding houses once you start aging up. Next thing about ISIS. Monument, shield against enemy god powers, 25 range, 50 when empowered. So what that means is, when you build a monument as ISIS, let's use this cheat code. This monument pretty much blocks enemy god powers. That's what that bonus means. Yeah, that's what it means. So basically, if your opponent is here and trying to cast Earthquake on top of your town center, they won't be able to do that. Or Chaos, or Bolt, or any god powers. So there is a small range for this monument that blocks god powers, and if you empower it, it's double the range. Something like this, like a huge screen or something. Something like that. That's how strong is empowering monuments. You can use that aggressively. We've seen that a few times in a tournament. Mista was doing that, where he just built a forward monument, and he started empowering in it, and he was pushing forward, and his opponent couldn't use any god powers on him. Yeah. Another ISIS bonus is empowered monuments heal nearby units 50 range and generate favor 100% faster. So monuments pretty much generate favor. So by empowering the monument, not only you get this huge extra range of blocking enemy god powers, but you also heal the units in its radius. Let's say these villages were damaged, they would heal back to full hit points. And it also generates 100% more favor, so you're getting even more favor. Yeah, that's it so far. And technologies cost 10% less resources, another bonus. So if you take a look, let's build a storehouse. If you take a look at the pickaxe, for example, it only costs 45 food and 108 wood. So what you can do, an easy build order people have been doing, they sometimes start with a villager on wood just to grab 8 wood, they garrison to the town center, they send that villager back to gold, and they instantly upgrade pickaxe. I'm gonna be showing this build order after we talk about ISIS bonuses and unique tech. So pretty much everything you try to upgrade, like 45 town centers, 10% cheaper, 360 wood, 360 gold, masons, 180 food, 270 wood. Pretty simple, and it's all the upgrades. Every upgrade is cheaper as ISIS. Obelisks cost -5 gold and are built 60% faster. So ISIS is like, ISIS does a very annoying thing with the scouts, and it's like spamming obelisks in front of the map, because they're built so quickly. For example, they don't build in this at this fast rate, but because I'm using a cheat code, that's why they're built so fast right now. But still, they're built pretty fast, and they only cost how much? Let's see here. They only cost 5 gold, which is crazy. So you always wanna have a priest as ISIS forward. Age ups are not, no guys, age ups are not cheaper. So you wanna have a priest, 1 or 2 priests around the map, split them, and spam obelisks all around the map against your opponent. Your opponent will be very annoyed from it, and you can basically see everything with these obelisks. They give so much line of sight. Look at this. Look at this radius, how much line of sight it gives. So you can basically see your opponent's army with the obelisks, and he cannot see them. And as ISIS, because the upgrades are cheaper pretty much, something smart you can do is also upgrade signal fires from one of the obelisks. Pretty cheap upgrade, and you will see pretty much the entire map if you grab this and you have few obelisks around the map. So these are the bonuses so far about ISIS, and now we're gonna go over to unique tech. Flood of the Nile, I think I called it River of the Nile, my bad, it's actually called Flood of the Nile. 135 gold, 8 favor. It gives you passive gold. That's what this upgrade does, and you can grab it. You can basically take this very early into the game, like during your build order. You can have this, like I think 2 minutes into the game, something like that. I'll show you the build order after. You get passive food basically, worth of 1 villager. So you should always grab this upgrade as early as possible when you play ISIS. Because it's, as I said, passive income worth of 1 villager. It's like you start with another villager. So when you play ISIS and you start your build order, you basically start with 4 villagers if you grab Flood of the Nile. That's one of the reasons ISIS economy is so strong and superior to Set. Yeah, so it's like a villager that can never be raided and will be working for the entire game. That's how important Flood of the Nile is. Moving on. We have Sacred Cats, you upgrade that from a granary, aging up through Bust. And it's like a little winter harvest, I would say. For those who play Norse, they know what winter harvest is. The villager gather work rate for farm plus 5%. Not too bad, it's decent. But you basically wanna grab this for your berries, for your goats or pigs, and for the hunt. Because most of the times as ISIS you will be hunting or you'll stay on berries, goats or anywhere. You wanna delay your farms as ISIS. This upgrade is very important. Boosts your economy pretty much. It's like having one of Odin bonuses, which is 10% faster hunting. But basically not only works on hunt, but works on berry bushes, herdables, and hunt as well, as I mentioned. We also have the Adds of Wapwet, which gives you plus 10% wood gather rate, so your villagers gather wood faster. And on top of that, it increases the chop attack damage bonus against tree, which means they cut tree nearly instantly. I'd like to test that out. Let's see how fast they cut a tree. Bust. Let's upgrade this. Yes. So they instantly take down a tree and they can start gathering wood from it. Yeah, but that's not the main reason you wanna grab this upgrade, the Adds of Wapwet. The reason you wanna grab it is mainly because of the 10% extra wood income, and ISIS pretty often focuses on a wood-based army, like Chariot Archers, Scorpion Men, so it's important to have this wood boost at the early stages. It's pretty important. Going over to Tech Tree again, edging up through Bust. There are two upgrades for your Sphinx. You're not gonna see yourself playing often with Sphinx, but if you ever play ISIS and you wanna open with a different build, you can sometimes go for some Sphinx raids. This myth unit over here, they're pretty fast, and upgrade Cryo Sphinx and Hierarchos Sphinx. So this upgrade, the first upgrade, Cryo Sphinx, gives extra hack damage, extra 50% extra. Thank you for the raid, Fitz bro. Hope you had a nice stream. Yeah, welcome everybody. So Cryo Sphinx gives you plus 20% attack damage, hack damage, 50% crash damage, so your Sphinx are stronger against buildings, and 20% more hit points. Pretty decent if you go for it. And this Hierarchos Sphinx is like upgrading Cryo Sphinx but in steroids. Because what it does, it gives you 15% more speed, so these Sphinx, trust me, are pretty quick, pretty fast. And with a melee attack damage plus 20%. So they even do way more damage, and on top of that they do another 15% extra crash damage. So they're even stronger against buildings once you upgrade that. Then we have Anubis as Isis. Most of you know about Plague of Serpents. This god power spawns snakes. And about Eclipse, I guess all of you know what Eclipse does. What Eclipse does is it boosts your myth units. Your myth units are way stronger every time you use Eclipse. And also causes your monuments to generate more favor. That's what Eclipse does. And with Plague of Serpents, you basically spawn some powerful snakes in a position you choose, and they fight enemy units or harass villagers, something like that. So, the Anubis tech. You have the Feet of the Jackal. So basically plus 40% Anubite hit points. That's a lot, trust me, that's a lot. Anubite jumps, it adds 3.0 to jump attack maximum range, which means your Anubites do the special attack, they jump from an even far away distance. So it's pretty useful for raiding. You can jump on top of the villagers and harass them. And attack work rate for human soldiers. Yeah, it basically mainly boosts your jump, your Anubite jump ability. Moving on, we have the Serpent Spear. I think I mentioned that in a previous guide, probably my set guide, that your spearmen get 0.13 divide damage over time. They do that against enemy units pretty much. So what divine damage does is damage that ignores armor. So basically you upgrade Serpent Spear. I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, we have no access to that because we aged up through Bust. But yeah, pretty much what happens is you get this, the Serpent Spear, and your spearmen, every time they hit an enemy unit, that unit receives also 0.13 divine damage for 6 seconds. So it's like that unit is getting poisoned or something and losing hit points over time. Pretty useful if you open with spearmen. And if you go for Anubite trading, always remember to grab Feet of the Jackal. Pretty powerful upgrade in my opinion. Moving on, we have Necropolis. It's a must grab upgrade when you play with Anubis, because it boosts the monument work rate for favor by 25%. And trust me, it's a lot. You will have a shit ton of favor. So I really suggest that if you play Anubis, drop a second monument at the same time, upgrade Necropolis. You're gonna have so much favor you won't know what to do with it. Going over to the Heroic Age Gods, there is the Locust Swarm. Most of you know how to use this god power. It's decent against villagers, farms, and berry bushes, sometimes against buildings as well. But you most of the times will see yourself using it against an army, so it works against enemy units as well. So if you can't find any farms to destroy with it, or if you can't find villagers to raid with it, using it on top of your enemy units is always an option. We also have the Rock, a flying unit that doesn't attack but works as a transport unit. You can garrison units to this thing. And we also have Petschos, a pretty strong long range myth unit that also adds divine damage. So you can basically, sometimes if you go for it, you can basically kill heroes with that divine damage. And on top of that, if you go for it, I as well suggest to grab the Crocodilopolis upgrade. Gives 6 line of sight to your Petschos and 6 ranged attack maximum range, which means they have another 6 range to attack, so they attack from a very far distance. Pretty useful. I've been using it myself, mainly with Ra, but Isis can also play with this. But if you wanna do this strategy, I suggest Ra. We also have Sunlight Mudbrick. Buildings are cheaper. they cost less, and they build faster. So most of the times, when you're up to the late game, you should 100% grab this and spam buildings and walls all over the map. You will save so many resources for yourself. We have the dark water. You can grab this from a market, I believe. This upgrade, yes, you can grab it from a market. That basically gives 10% camel rider hit points and caravan. So your caravans, when you're trading, are even more tough to beat, like to kill, and your camel riders have extra hit points as well, which helps a lot at the late game. It also that's pretty interesting because it also adds regeneration rate to your caravans and camel riders. So in a late game raid situation where somebody's trying to raid your trade, you will see yourself regenerating your caravans, which sounds pretty useful to me. The solar barbecue, not sure how useful that is because as I have said it in most of my guides, it's not really useful grabbing the heroic tech for water, because when both players reach the heroic age, water doesn't really matter anymore. It's more about land, settlements. I would really love though to see a map in the map pool or in tournaments where that map has been designed to where you are forced, like when you are forced to fight the water at heroic age. That would be awesome because we would then see in use all of the unique tech in the heroic age about water fights. Every civ has those, and we never see them. We never see those upgrades getting researched because they're not useful. It's just a waste of resources at that point. Yeah, which basically cabinets set ability recharge. So your cabinets get like a charge spawn action. They spawn sea snakes near enemy ships that your cabinets are attacking. And how this works is for every 500 damage your cabinets do, that's when you spawn serpents, the sea snakes. And I believe it's quite a lot. 500 is too much. Like it should be more. You should do more. You should do less damage to receive a sea snake. Otherwise, it's not even worth grabbing it, in my opinion. Moving over to Nephthys and Sandstores, you spawn minions by using this god power, Scorpion Man, a great unit which poisons enemy units with a special attack with an AoE damage, pretty much. We have Funeral Rites, where most of the people confuse this upgrade with the old Funeral Rites from Legacy. What this upgrade does here is returns 5 gold on every death. So let's say you lose a spearman, you get 5 gold for it. Let's say you lose a priest, you get 5 gold for it. Pretty decent upgrade, and a must grab upgrade for the late game when gold matters. Gold matters a lot, where people basically push each other from gold mines, and you can pretty much delay your trade route by grabbing Funeral Rites. Spirit of Mud. Nephthys increases the healing rate of pharaohs and priests and lowers the cost of priests. Sometimes you would see this upgrade getting grabbed for when you're doing a siege priest rush, where people tend to grab this and just spam priests out. Only priests with siege towers and push a specific location. We don't see that too often, but this upgrade is a must grab upgrade if you're playing against civs that are full of myth units. Let's say you're against Loki. You will 100% need this upgrade because it will allow you to keep training priests over again without losing too much gold. Nepti. So Nepti is the one upgrade that basically gives extra damage to your priests and the pharaoh against myth units. So again, if somebody has many myth units out in the battlefield, you wanna grab Nepti, and your priests and the pharaoh will be stronger against myth units. It adds 1.0 to all actions damage bonus against myth units, which means they have a multiplier and this +1 works on the multiplier, so it's pretty decent. It's a pretty good upgrade, and a must grab against Loki. And then we have the Funeral Bards, as I was saying previously. Heroic Age tech for water isn't important, so if you ever 1 in a million see yourself playing fighting water at the Heroic Age, you can grab this. What it does, your war barges spawn 1 Leviathan upon death with 10% chance, which means, let's say you lose 10 war barges, you get 1 free Leviathan out of it. It's like kinda how Sage work for Hades, where Hades here, one of his bonuses, 20% chance for fallen humans to return as Sage. But for this upgrade here, the Warbards is actually 10%, so even lower. So 1 out of 10 times you will get 1 free Leviathan every time you lose a Warbirds. Warbirds is the siege ship, the one that Egyptians have. Moving on to the Mythic Age, have Osiris, mummies that convert enemy units into minions if they fall, and it's a myth unit, pretty tough, costs wood, wood is easy to get. So if you have extra favor in the bank, always make sure to produce these myth units, they're extremely strong. I guess most of you know about Son of Osiris and how frustrating it is to fight against this unit. This unit has insane damage, this lightning wielding demigod, and you most of the times need a full population army with range units to deal with this, otherwise you can't really get on top of it, it's pretty hard, or you need god powers to counter Son of Osiris. Desert Wind, excuse me, here we go. I don't want to hide this with my face. Desert Wind, Osiris places the Desert Wind at your Camel Riders' backs, increasing their speed, attack and hit points. So by grabbing this upgrade here, the Desert Wind, your Camel Riders have plus 20% damage, plus 20% hit points, and another plus 20% speed. So you have faster, stronger, and more dangerous Camel Riders by grabbing this. Desert Wind is extremely useful. You can always grab this, and you can do a combination of tech. You can grab the Dark Water, so you already have 10% hit points, extra 10% hit points on the camels, on the Camel Riders, and then you grab this and you have another 20% extra hit points on the camels. And on top of that, if you play Ra, for example, you have another 15% extra hit points on your camels. It's one of his main bonuses. But for Isis I also suggest the Desert Wind. Very useful upgrade, can always go for raids, and those camels are extremely hard to kill. Moving on in the list, you have the new Kingdom. So basically you get a second pharaoh by upgrading New Kingdom, which is very useful. What you can do with it is you put one pharaoh on a market, like you empower one market for your trade route, and the other pharaoh can be on a monument, for example. On a monument you have in the center in the map that you can use to block all enemy god powers and to heal pretty much every single unit in your army. Pretty strong. And we have the Atef Crown. Osiris upgrades mummies to mummy viziers, which have improved hit points and attack, and grants their minions a longer lifespan. So the mummies have plus 20% hit points. Mummies are these myth units over here that cost wood. And they also have 40% more damage. That's pretty useful. And their minions live for another 1 minute. I think they live for 1 minute, so they basically... So their minions, the minions they spawn live for up to 1.5 or 2 minutes, something like that, something pretty decent. And moving on to the last to the last minor gold that we have. There is Thoth. Meteor, yes, basically damages, destroys buildings, kills villagers, kills armies as well. You will most of the times use it on top of an enemy main town center, where it's gonna destroy the town center, houses, farms, and villagers. And moving on, we have the Phoenix myth unit that this is a flying myth unit that if your opponent manages to kill, it can respawn, like it spawns an egg that if you destroy that egg, then this myth unit is dead. But if you fail to destroy this egg, then the Phoenix is reborn and back at the battlefield already. A very strong myth unit in my opinion. Valley of the Kings. So this is one of the most broken upgrades, guys. So that's why most of the times I age up through Thoth, because this is one of the most broken upgrades, unfortunately. And it's Valley of the Kings. So you empower with your Pharaoh, you empower a Migdol stronghold, where you grab this upgrade. And that Migdol stronghold that you're empowering, that you chose to empower with your Pharaoh, will be double producing for free. For those who have played AoE 4, they know how Mongols worked like. So this is pretty similar. This tech is pretty similar to the Mongols on AoE 4. So you're double producing units from this Migdol. So let's say you train one elephant, you will get 2 elephants, and one of them is for free. So you can spam units from it forever, and half of your army would be for free. So yeah, that's pretty much a pretty broken upgrade, and it's getting nerfed in the next patch. It's getting very hard nerfed, and I believe it's a very good idea to nerf this. But it's extremely expensive. It's a very expensive upgrade. Still though, for the value it gets, you should 100% grab it as soon as possible. Book of Thoth, one of the last upgrades over here. Villager work rate for farms, 10%, also for huntable, herdable, berry bush, wood, and gold. So Book of Thoth is another must grab tech, because you get 10% extra gather rate on everything. Whether it's farms, whether it's wood, whether it's gold, you have 10% better work rate. Which is huge, because if you combined all of that together, if you put farm, wood, and gold together, that's like having plus 30% total on a specific resource, but it's basically 10%, a small one, but for all resources. So it's a must grab upgrade in my opinion. And at last, we have the Tasks of Apademak. If you go for elephants, this is another must grab upgrade, because it makes your elephants cheaper, costing 1 less population, and stronger. So your elephants do plus 10% damage, they cost 10% less resources, food and gold, and as I said, minus 1 population count. So in a full population fight with elephants, you will have a huge advantage, especially as ISIS, that you get extra 5 population for each town center that you own. So you will have an army as ISIS that it will win every fight. Okay, so this was the unique tech about ISIS and all of the bonuses. And now I'm gonna be going for an ISIS build order for you guys. A build that most of the players have been doing in the ladder. And I'm gonna teach you how to do it. So 3 starting villagers go on hunt, and you use 1 villager and the pharaoh to build a monument. The next villager will also go on food, so we have 4 in total with this builder here. You're gonna go for scouting with your priest, and you put the empowerment on the granary. So next 3 villagers will go on gold, because you're gonna get gold as soon as possible to start building obelisks. So far we cannot build any obelisk at all. So we just scout like this. You might wanna force drop some gold so you can build your first obelisk. There we go. So third villager on gold. The next villager will go to wood, so we grab a very early pickaxe. We only need 8 wood because Isis upgrades are cheaper, 10% cheaper. And the next villager will also go on gold because we're going to upgrade a very early flood of the Nile. So once this villager gets, okay, maybe 10 wood, you can go for 8, but 10 is fine. You start researching pickaxe and you put that villager on gold, so 5 on gold total, and now we're going back to food. You build some obelisks around the map. You auto-queue villagers on food. And if you go for a force drop, you have enough resources to get Flood of the Nile. So we start researching that. And now we need just enough gold for few obelisks and to get our temple up. We wanna go up to 7 villagers. You can go, yeah, up to 7 villagers on food. Because since now Flood of the Nile is researched, 7 villagers on food and +1 River of the Nile, Flood of the Nile is an upgrade. That, as I said earlier in the guide, it's like it's giving you passive income worth of 1 villager. You can instead switch to a wood line, because you don't need as many. So you start building your temple with 3 gold villagers, and you make... You make 2 villagers on wood, one of them will build a house. And after this, you're gonna put 2 villagers on gold, or 3. Depends on if you have enough food to age up or not. You can see with empowerment and Flood of the Nile and 7 villagers on food, I'll be able to age up pretty soon. We train 1 more villager that can go to a different place, like we can build a granary on the chickens. And we age up through bust. So you're gonna have 5 or 6 villagers on gold as Isis. You don't wanna have more than that. Rest should be on food, so because you're gonna age up pretty quickly to the heroic age. So you can pre-queue with right click husbandry, because husbandry is very important as Isis. And you select 1 gold villager to build just few houses. But first, before building those houses, you first build a second monument. And you start with the houses then. You can use 1 villager to build another granary, let's say on the berries. You keep building obelisks all around the map. You can use the Sphinx to scout or to harass villagers. And once you age up, you grab the 2 wood villagers and you start building an armory. You select 1 of the granaries, you upgrade Sacred Cats. We talked about this upgrade. It will help you get to the heroic cage way faster. Wanna get a few more obelisks. And we auto-queue villagers on food. 3 on chickens is more than enough. You don't wanna put too many villagers on chickens because they run out of food pretty quickly. So instead we went for the berries, since they were closer to the starting hand.
In Greek, Unieue.
And if any important relics are around the map, you should grab the hands of the pharaoh and get them with your priest all the way back to the town center. So I believe we can age up after this villager. You can do a force drop with your villagers, so you get the food to age up. You take all of these villagers from the pharaoh, you age up through Nephthys, and now you use prosperity with the pharaoh empowering the gold mine. But you're gonna have 2 extra villagers on wood. Start building more houses around the towers, always important to build around the towers. And with prosperity, 13 villages on gold and empowerment, you get enough gold to train a few priests for you to be able to secure a second gold mine, as well as getting enough gold to build the Migdol stronghold. So you're gonna make sure the Sphinx is alive. If your Sphinx dies somehow, you can use your Scorpion Man for this trick over here. So here is the thing, because I see something about Greek aggression in the chat. So let's say the Greek units are indeed sitting outside your base. Let's say he has the heroes here and the hippicons trying to stop you, trying to prevent you from grabbing this gold mine. The easiest thing you can do, first of all, you have vision of everything. You play Isis. Yes, the Greek players will try to destroy most of the obelisks. They will fail to destroy every single one of them, because as I said, you should be the one spamming obelisks around. But even if they do that, and let's say there are the Greek units here waiting for you to build the Migdol stronghold, the easiest thing you can do at this point is very simple. You make a second Scorpion Man, and you use Ancestor Eclipse in their base. And you spread those minions to attack hunters. And this way, the Greek player will have no units basically. To defend this. And he will either be forced to come back with his heroes and the army to defend this, which gives you the opportunity to build your Migdol stronghold, or he's gonna lose so much on the economy that you don't even have to go outside. You can instead drop a Migdol here. So let's say here that the Greek player doesn't want to leave this gold mine. He doesn't want me to go on this gold mine. We did a lot of damage in his main base, we killed many villagers, we added all of that economy. That we can just go for a Migdol in our bases. And once we get enough units out, you can also empower this Migdol to get those units as fast as possible out. You just get as many camels out as possible. And now we grab the pharaoh and few villagers, and we have enough resources and enough army to get the second Migdol built on top of the gold mine to secure it. There is no way he would be able to stop your army with those units here. And once you push the Greek player or whoever, whatever civ they play, once you push them back, then until you have a strong army, a big army enough to do a huge push, until you get to that point, you can use small army group raids. You can use like 3 camels, let's say 4 or 3 camels with a Scorpion Man to raid him around. Raiding is different than pushing. So we now secure this gold mine, we can build like a siege works with a villager, and we can continue training units out of 2 Migdols. That is pretty tough, it's pretty strong. So you get a raid over here, and he sends his army to defend. You just go back, for example. You don't want to take a fight yet, you need your entire army. You have the rest of the units here that you can use to hit a wood line then. And then, once you are the one having the map control, you don't even need to build farms at this point. All you can do is go outside of the map. There are plenty of deer I can eat, and some elks over here. So I'm gonna split my villagers, 5 and 5. Here we run away. Always remember to train scorpionmen. And we're in a very good spot. So yeah, this was the ISIS guide pretty much. Now I'm gonna go over a recorded game, me playing ISIS myself on the rank 1, and I'm going to be explaining what I was doing. Will this be on YouTube? Yes, this will be on YouTube, guys. I think I played ISIS today already, was against Super Afim. Maybe this could be a decent example. Yes, let's do this recorded game. So this is an ISIS against Ra game. Gonna go on play fast. There we go. Let's go over my side. And here is the build order I was talking about. You build 1 monument, 4 villages on food, you empower the granary, and then you build the mining camp, 2 villages on gold, 1 more, 3 total, there we go. And the next villager will go on wood, as explained in the build order, during the build order. This villager will just get us enough wood to get pickaxe, because ISIS is about pretty much grabbing tech. So 5 total with that wood villager, we upgrade pickaxe. We're waiting on this Flood of the Nile upgrade. Now we're upgrading Flood of the Nile from the granary, which is +1 villager pretty much. And about strategy, I was thinking here. First with my priest, building obelisks forward, I gotta scout my settlements. If there is any town center that is good enough and worth to grab, I'm gonna go for it. So I saw this settlement over here and I'd be like, okay, this is way too far away from my base, it's too far. And this gold mine, it doesn't really secure this gold mine. Opponent can always apply pressure here with a Sphinx or Chariot Archers. This town center is too risky to grab, I'm not gonna go for it. But what about the other town center? So far I didn't see anything, but then I turned around and I saw this hand. So if I grab this town center, my opponent is first of all playing Ra. So since he's playing Ra, he doesn't have good options to scout. He can't really see if I'm building a town center or not. He would have to make a Sphinx and search the entire map for it. So I'm like, I can go for this town center because it secures me hunt. So by grabbing this town center, first of all I secure the hunt and I can eat the hunt and go for a fast heroic timing. And here I didn't make the decision yet, but I'm like, yeah, after I built the obelisks and saw that there's nothing more, just the gazelles, and I'd be like, okay, I might go for it, I should then go for it. So I put like 11 villagers on gold and I start empowering this mining camp. So the strategy I showed earlier that you can do with ISIS, the fast heroic one, you can actually do it with 2 town centers. It works both ways. So if you find yourself as ISIS having a nice settlement that either gives you hunt or a gold mine, you can also go, it's a better strategy in my opinion, to go for the second town center and do the exact same strategy but out of 2 town centers. It works the same way. You will see most high level players doing that. You will see them doing that. So the build is pretty much the same as you can see, because I'm grabbing husbandry, I'm grabbing sacred cats, so it's pretty much the exact same thing right now. I build the second monument as I showed to you in the build order. I'm building an armory over there. And here I show my target gold mine. Because when you go to town centers, you will pretty soon need to secure a second gold mine if you haven't secured one already. So I'm like, this will be my goal, to secure this gold mine with possibly 1 or 2 Migdol strongholds and a monument to block god powers. So this is very OP as sizes. I'm building forward monuments so I can see everything pretty much. I keep going for it. Have 2 priests right now. Building monuments. He caught my priest out of position, so this priest died. But that's okay. At least I can see what's happening with these obelisks here. They're extremely useful.
In wedge.
I'm now edging up from the main town center through Nephthys, and the second town center is training villagers on gold.
And you?
So, by building a Migdol stronghold here, not only I'm securing this gold mine, but I'm also securing the hunt, this rhinoceros. And at the same time, I can wall it off. Both gold mine and the rhinoceros is a pretty good way to make sure no raids are going to happen to you at all. Wall and a Migdol. So here I drop it, Pharaoh empowering it. Economy upgrades, pretty standard. And here is the idea. Because using Ancestor Eclipse in the Egyptian base isn't really a great usage, but most of the times you will use Ancestor Eclipse against Greeks or Norse in their base. But in an Egyptian mirror, the story is a bit different, because they have towers up for free, automatically basically. They have the Pharaoh in the base empowering, as well as Petsuchos and the few extra priests most of the time. He has them here. So I planned on using it. I was planning on using it on his villagers, but I changed my mind. There we go. I see this with my Sphinx and I'm like, it's time to use it. But I'm like, where are his priests? And I see that he has here myth units and priests that could easily kill my minions. So it wasn't a smart idea to do so. So since I was floating economy so badly, my last decision here was to age up. I wanted to age up to the Mythic Age instantly. I didn't make units yet. I only had few priests and the Sphinx. And I'm aging up through Thoth. So what was the idea behind aging up through Thoth? Is that I can actually, with the Thoth upgrades, the Thoth tech, I can double produce units for free, which is crazy. I have my defenses set up, a second Migdol stronghold and power, and then I started building a monument as well. And because I'm playing against Ra, I know that the Ra player will have most probably farms around their town center. So by casting Meteor in their base, not only you kill villagers, not only you destroy their town center, but you destroy their farms as well, and they have to rebuild them all over again, which is huge. So Afim, the blue player here, is planning to go pretty aggressive on me. He probably knows I'm planning to do something crazy like this. So he starts building units and he knows that he has a timer to do damage to me, otherwise he's going to lose the game. So here I build a monument to protect myself from god powers. I have my Scorpion Man patrolling somewhere. I sent it. Where was it? Yes, so I sent the Scorpion Man to get vision to use my Meteor. I'm getting my camel upgrades because I'm against Ra. And I'm gonna be spamming camels to counter his chariot archers and his camels plus his siege towers. That's how strong camels are. Scorpion Man is in position to cast Meteor. And to my surprise here, he didn't go for farms. I didn't expect that. He delayed his farms very hard. Because he's playing Bast, with Bast probably. But at least, with the Meteor, I was able to destroy these monuments, the town centers, and kill villagers. As you can see here. And at the same time, the blue player launched an attack on me. And here I try to do the best micro of my life, because I have my heroes and the Pharaoh in one control group. I upgraded, because I know I'm facing myth units, I upgraded Nepti, so my heroes, my priests do more damage to myth units with this. And yes, camels are pretty strong against cavalry. So, and I also got Hands of the Pharaoh, so my priests have extra range, have bonus damage, even more damage against myth units with Nepti, and every time they die, I get 5 gold back. This actually works on every unit. Every unit I have, whether it's a camel or a hero, I get 5 gold back every time one of them dies. So here I'm focus firing at my best to kill all of the myth units during eclipse, I use the minions. I have my villagers to try to take down the siege towers. And I have this Phoenix attacking the chariot archers. So I'm making sure I'm targeting down those myth units. Here is the last patch host, taking it down. And at this stage of the game I managed to defend, I destroyed the town center, I killed villagers. And Afim, there was nothing else that Afim could have done against it. So this was pretty much the ISIS guide. Let me know if you guys would like to see more guides for every god. I'll probably do more.